course. Welcome to Rogers Center on a beautiful Friday night. It is absolutely perfect night for baseball. The Orioles are in town for a 3-game series. The Blue Jays fresh off of taking 3 of 4 from the Boston Red Sox. Take a look at the Orioles lineup. The Orioles beat the Yankees in back-to-back games in extra innings, once in New York, once in Baltimore. Robert Andino, J.J. Hardy, and Nick Markakis. That's the top 3 in the order. The veteran Vladimir Guerrero batting .282 for the season. Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, and Mark Reynolds. Reynolds has got a lot of power, but obviously he has that strikeout record. And they are set to take on Brett Cecil.
Starting pitcher tonight is brought to you by Icy Hot. Pain is no match for the Icy Hot patch. Brett Cecil takes the mound trying to snap a 7-start winless streak. Brett held the AL West leading and hard-hitting Texas Rangers to just 1 run over 16 innings in back-to-back wins, finishing up the month of July. Since then, 7 starts, 4 losses, 3 no decisions. In his defense, Brett Cecil has had the 3rd lowest run support average in the major leagues since the beginning of August.
Robert Andino will lead things off. Andino playing at third base, and he had the big hit in yesterday's game for the Orioles, a game winner in the bottom of the 10th. First pitch strike from Brett Cecil. We are underway. Cecil is from Maryland. We're up not far from Baltimore. There's that changeup. He's quickly ahead, 0-2.
There's Andino's numbers. It's a dangerous team, the Orioles. They could hit some home runs now. Andino just for the 19th time in that leadoff spot.
3-pitch strikeout as Cecil gets off to a good start.
Defensively tonight for the Blue Jays, playing behind Brett Cecil, Thames, McCoy, and Bautista with his 11 assists in the outfield. Laurie Escobar, Kelly Johnson, and Hannah Blinn back in the lineup. Third to first along the infield. Aaron Seaver behind the plate, and there's Hannah Blinn back in the lineup after a couple of nights off to rest that sore right wrist. Good to see him back in the lineup.
J.J. Hardy, he has been tough on the Blue Jays all season long. Hardy has hit 6 home runs against the Blue Jays. That's the most any batter has hit against the Jays this season. For the season, Hardy's hitting .314, but he's hit those 6 home runs and driven in 11 against Blue Jays.
He's now tied his career high in home runs that he set when he was with Milwaukee. 26 home runs for a shortstop. Not too shabby.
Pops this one straight back just over our head. Cecil's ahead of ball and 2 strikes, and he's taking a page out of Ricky Romero's book from last night's game. Romero was ahead of the Red Sox all night long and really shut them down very effectively.
And Ricky talked about that. He was saying that sometimes we give hitters too much credit.
Wow. That was an overmatch.
Yeah. First 2 batters have been an overmatch. He strikes out Andino on 3 pitches. And then it takes him 4 to get J.J. Hardy. This looks like a hard cutter or hard slider. But it's down, and it's enough for Hardy to swing and miss.
Nick Markakis moves into the 3rd spot in the order tonight. Markakis is the right fielder. Another strike from Cecil.
Finishing up that thought with Ricky, he was talking about sometimes they give hitters too much credit and they nibble when they should just go right after them. And Romero did that last night. It looks like Cecil so far starting this game is doing the same thing.
I think the pitchers in this generation are really at a disadvantage because they haven't hit much. Hitting is hard. There's a changeup Markakis lays off. But you're right. I think pitchers in general give the hitter way too much credit. When you think of the best, and everybody's heard this, and I know you're going to say you've heard it a million times, the best in baseball makes 7 outs in every 10 at-bats. Give them a chance to make some outs. There's a line drive into left field. Markakis stays on top of that high fastball.
Got to keep challenging him. That's how you use your fastball. Scouting Report is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Brett Cecil, command the fastball. He's had problems with it at times. When he doesn't have problems, he's much better. A better change last time out. The adjustments made during the game against the Yankees, using his changeup just a little bit more and stay in the yard. He has surrendered a home run in all but 2 of his 17 starts this year. I think that's going to be key for him here tonight.
Vladimir Guerrero steps back from an inside fastball. Respectable numbers for Guerrero. He's certainly not the dangerous hitter he was in his prime. Guy that could hit .340 and drive in 100 every year. But he has owned Brett Cecil. He is 4 for 5 in limited at-bats against the Blue Jays left-hander, and he's hit well against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he always has. 21 home runs in 103 games for Guerrero. Trying to bust him inside. I don't think he can get the head out.
And after a couple of inside fastballs, he crosses him up with a changeup.
So far, so good tonight with that changeup from Cecil. It's a good pitch for him. Throws it with a good arm speed. And you combine that with his fastball, and both of those together are very good pitches.
Base hit right field. Markakis will stop at second as Bautista brings it back in.
Tuesdays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Adam Jones will step in with 2 on and 2 outs. Jones has been in a funk lately. He's at just 118 over his last 15 games. That's dropped his average to 282. Back-to-back 2-out hits. Misses with that off-speed pitch down and in. When the Blue Jays last saw the Orioles, Jones was hitting .292. That was on the 30th of August. First inning has been a challenge for Brett Cecil. 8 earned runs in 17 starts. He falls behind Jones. The Orioles themselves have been outscored by 56 runs. And it's really been a challenge. They find themselves behind every single time.
Not a good way to start a ball game when you fall behind in the first inning. Orioles trying to give it right back to them right here. When they score first, they're 13 games over 500.
2-0. Bouncing ball to short. Escobar to Johnson, and the inning is over. Orioles get back-to-back 2-out hits, but Jones hits into a fielder's choice. Cecil off to a good start. Seven runs on 11 hits. John Farrell's lineup tonight, remarkably similar. Juvenal Escobar, Eric Thames, Jose Bautista, top 3 in the order. Encarnacion is the DH tonight. Adam Lynn returns to first base but drops into the 5th spot. Brett Lawrie and Kelly Johnson flip-flop in the order. Lawrie batting ahead of Johnson. Aaron Sebia and McCoy round out the lineup, and they are set to face Jeremy Guthrie,
who will be trying to avoid setting a new career high in losses. He lost 17 games for Baltimore back in 2009. He's got 17 this year with those 6 wins. Last time out to the mound, 7 runs, 4 walks, 5 innings, an 8-1 loss to Tampa Bay for the season. This is his 4th start versus the Blue Jays. He's 0-1 with an ERA over 5.
Escobar goes after that first pitch and swings over the top of it. Escobar batting .292. Everyday player, and he's played very well. Would love to get over 300 before the season comes to an end.
He was over 300 just a few weeks ago, and then went into a little bit of a tailspin and dropped it underneath there, and then got hot again on that last road trip through Baltimore and New York.
Bouncing ball. J.J. Hardy's been good all season long with the glove. He throws out Escobar.
Jeremy Guthrie made his major league debut with Cleveland back in 2004. Here is the scouting report. Mix of pitches. He's got them all. He's got the fastball, biting curveball, changeup. He'll sink his fastball. He's not afraid of contact. Put it in play. Let the fielders take over for Guthrie. And there's an explosive combination with Jeremy Guthrie. He's given up 24 home runs this year. Blue Jays are 4th in the American League with 171. So we might see some leave the yard tonight.
Eric Thames left the yard last night. His 10th home run. Big insurance run came in the 7th inning. High breaking ball. Ball on the strike.
Although the last time we saw Guthrie here in this ballpark, he was sensational. 5 innings, and I don't believe he gave up a hit and had to leave the ball game. In that game, he did give up the 1 hit. Had to leave the ball game, and we talked to him after the game. Had a little problem in his back. He had to leave, but he was great.
Dominant through those 5 innings. As efficient as I have ever seen him. He walked 1, struck out 5 through just 64 pitches in 5 innings, but he had to leave because of that back problem. 3-1 to Eric Thames. Guthrie working with Matt Wieters. Inside, you could hear Ron Copa calling ball 4.
Guthrie hasn't done that a whole lot of times this year. He's generally around the plate. He can get all of his pitches over for strikes. There's his career numbers. 18 starts, a very good ERA of 3.6. But a losing record at 2-5. They just had trouble scoring runs for him when he's out there.
Jose Bautista steps in with a man on. First pitch breaking ball. Average at 303. Anxious to get to that 100 RBI plateau. That's how run producers are measured. How many times they drive in 100. Been a struggle for him over his last 2 weeks. 14 strikeouts in his last 14 games.
What makes it even more impressive, I think, for Bautista is the amount of times he's had guys on base, the amount of times he's had guys in scoring position, and then when they pitch to him. All of those, the big run producers in the American League have way more opportunities this season than Jose Bautista. He has made the most of his chances this year.
We take a look at the leaderboard in RBIs, and most of those guys come from the real offensive teams. Teams with a lot of veteran hitters up and down the order. We just saw the Boston Red Sox, and you look at the top 6 in that lineup, there's a lot of thunder.
Top 3 players all hitting 300. Very good on base percentages, so that creates a lot of opportunities.
Bautista strikes out like a fastball away. 2 down.
Guthrie has a deceptive fastball, I think. He short arms the ball. Doesn't have that long arm swing that helps you pick up the baseball. It's very short, very compact. He's got a good arm. That time went upstairs to get his first strikeout.
Edwin Encarnacion. Takes a strike. 16 home runs for Encarnacion. He hit that opposite field home run top of the Red Sox bullpen in last night's game. That came with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Been pretty good when he stays on the ball and drives it to the opposite field. He's had a nice stretch over his last 9 games.
Watching him today in batting practice, that's the only place he hit the ball. He really concentrated on trying to hit the ball back through the box. Slowed things down, didn't jump out there at the ball.
Hits this one high, but not that deep. Nolan Reimold, the left fielder. The inning is over. The Blue Jays go quietly in the first. Had a little bit of a rough spot over his last 6 starts. He hasn't won, as Pat mentioned, since July, and the last 6 have been disappointing.
ERA up there, up over 5 opponents with runners in scoring position, 3.45 for Brett Cecil. He hasn't been getting the runs again. Just 9 runs in his last 6 starts. The team has gone 1-5. And at times he looks very good. He makes his pitches, and other times he just misses his one spot and he gets paid for.
Matt Wieters jumps on that pitch and pulls it into the seats.
He pays for it by making that one mistake, and big league hitters jumping all over. And the home run has been a little bit of a problem for him.
Giving up a home run in his last 8 starts, and that has been a problem. And you're right, he doesn't give up many hits, but boy, when he does, then there's a guy on base. There's another good changeup.
He has a good changeup, and he'll use the curveball, a little bit of a slider or cutter, whatever you want to call it. But I always think the important thing for Brad is being able to throw his fastball and keep it down. Throw it where he wants to. That's when he has his most success, when he's using his fastball a lot and putting it where he needs to.
Another changeup, and Wieters waves at it. That's the 3rd strikeout already for Brett Cecil.
Pitch out of the zone against Wieters, and it's a half swing. Totally fooled by this pitch. Ball way off the plate.
Mark Reynolds, big power hitter. 32 home runs for Reynolds. First pitch changeup for his strike.
Right, he sits dead red. Every at bat, he's looking for that fastball where he can drive out of the ballpark. Very good high ball hitter.
A couple of off-speed pitches, and Reynolds is in a hole. Reynolds has hit just 191 against the Blue Jays this year. 9 for 47 coming into this game. And they tried to cross him up with that fastball.
He did. He surprised him. There are his numbers. And you mentioned the 191, but he's done some damage against the Blue Jays with just those 9 hits.
Right into the glove of Laurie. Reynolds hit it hard, but Laurie went to his left and speared it. There are 2 outs.
Get down on a line drive like this. It's going to be hooking at you. And if you can get down, you can see it just a little bit better. That's what Laurie does. Stays right with it. Seen balls hit like that can handcuff the third baseman. Stays right with it, makes a nice play.
Outfielder Nolan Reimold. That cutter stayed up and away. 2-0. John Farrell was talking about the fastball. He said, I don't care about velocity. As long as you command the strike zone down with your fastball right there. That's 90 miles an hour. Average major league fastball, but it's in a great spot.
It's in a great spot to a right-handed batter, down and away. And again, if you can command it and keep it out of the middle of the strike zone, you'll be fine. Greg Maddux didn't blow people away. He just had outstanding command. And he threw the ball, set hitters up, threw the ball where he wanted to, and got outs.
2-2. Got it. Reimold couldn't check his swing in time. Rhett Cecil racks up a couple of strikeouts. A 1-2-3 second. In the bottom of the second inning, he's batting fifth tonight, and you look at his numbers pre-All-Star game, 300 OPS at 864, but it's been a dramatic different story in the second half.
Yeah, 186 average for Lynn. He's had the wrist injury, and that's why he has missed the last couple of games. Talking to Dwayne Murphy the other day, I was asking him about Adam Lind, and the last thing he tells him before he goes to the on-deck circle is get a pitch you can hit. And he feels at times he swings at pitches out of the strike zone. When he is patient, waiting for pitches to hit, he can really do some damage.
John Farrell talked about that yesterday, about Jose Bautista's approach. Confident that he doesn't have to hit every pitch, and he will take the walk.
He talks about that approach as being a very good approach, but he's consistent with it. Every day it's the same thing. You build into that muscle memory of what you're going to do when you're standing in that batter's box.
3-0. And you have to remember your strengths as a hitter. The balls you hit the best, and that's what you look for. There's a strike.
I think Adam Lind's strengths are away, fastball, where he can stay with it. And if they go inside, he's still very quick as long as he doesn't go out and lets it come to him and stays back.
Right at the knees. Guthrie made a good pitch. It's 3-2. Driven to left field. Lind is headed around first. He'll go to second. Reimold waits for it to bounce off the wall, and Lind starts things off. with a leadoff double. Pretty swing.
Right on cue. Again, the fastball away, stays with it. Doesn't go out and try and hit it. Lets it come to him. See how he stays behind the ball there? His head stayed behind the ball, and he just drove that ball the other way on a line. No chance for Andino. And it gets by Reimold for extra bases.
14th double of the season. Starts the second for the Blue Jays. Brett Lawrie pushes it up the first baseline. Guthrie gets to it and throws out Lawrie. And Lawrie, if he pushes it just a little bit harder, gets it by Guthrie, then it's no contest.
Would have been in no man's land between Reynolds, the first baseman, Adams, the second baseman, and Guthrie. He elects to push the ball. Now watch Guthrie. He almost takes his eye off of it, and it almost rolled out of his glove, but he stayed right with it in his haste to get the out at first base, but he stayed with it and gets him by an eyelash at first.
Kelly Johnson laid on a fastball. Think Lawrie did that on his own?
I do.
Me too. I think he was just trying to bunt for base hit and push it at the second baseman. If he gets it by the pitcher, it's no contest.
Yeah, base hit. It's first and third, nobody out. The worst thing that could happen there is you've got a guy at third base, less than 2 outs. Infield about halfway now in the second inning.
Kelly Johnson fouls it off. Well, it's a good idea with the left-hander behind you, and Guthrie's a high ball pitcher, guy that gives up a lot of fly balls. In this situation, of course, calls for a fly ball. Checked his swing. The appeal down to third. DJ Rayburn said no swing. Breaking ball was in the dirt.
We'll see how the Blue Jays play this. Runner at third base, the infield in about halfway. They're not all the way in because of the AstroTurf. Lynn will probably make it go through.
And Johnson strikes out. For every home run Toronto hits in today's game, you can win amazing prizes from Sharp, including Canada's largest LCD TV, a 70-inch Sharp Aquos. Enter online at hitahomewithsharp.ca. Sharp makes bigger, better. So there are 2 down. J.P. Arencibia. Arencibia has gotten the reputation of being a great fastball hitter and a good low ball hitter.
First pitch fastball. He's looking for it early in the count. So Guthrie threw him an off-speed pitch.
Chased a bad pitch there. Had the count in his favor and chased that fastball, but probably down and away.
I think he'll learn as he gets older what pitchers are trying to do to him in these situations here. Got a base open. You're hitting 8th in the count. Guthrie's trying to save this run. He's not going to give him anything to hit.
The breaking ball, and you're right. Guthrie knows what he's doing right here. Arencibia's had a nice run over his last 10 games. A pair of doubles, a pair of home runs, and has driven in 9. JP has 71 ribbies for the season. Bounce to third, and Dino. Long throw, high throw, but in time to get Arencibia. Blue Jays get a leadoff double from Adam Lind and can't do anything with it. Bautista, a little conversation with Brett Laurie in the dugout. Obviously hard for us to know what the topic of conversation is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to that bunt after the Lynn double. Bautista probably saying, okay, that's a pretty good idea, but early in the game, you might want to think about driving him in.
Yeah, and Brett, you've played in 33 games. You've got 21 RBIs. Drive him in. I mean, we have no idea what they're talking about, but that could be it.
Brian Adams, the second baseman, will start things off for the Orioles. Brett Cecil had a 1-2-3 second inning. First pitch, strike. Cecil ahead 0-2. His numbers at AAA Norfolk before he was called up. Now he chases that changeup and got a piece of it.
Cecil has a good changeup tonight, and he's using it. Last game, it was like he was forced to use it as the Yankees were all over his fastball early in the game. He made the change to the change and pitched a lot better.
Now, that's what we talk about all the time with starting pitchers. They have to be aware of what's going on, what the hitters are doing. We talk about it often. Pitchers have to be able to read the bats that they're facing, see where that bat is when that ball's in the hitting zone. Another good changeup. Aaron Sebia throws out Adams. That's 5 strikeouts now for Brett Cecil.
Out of the strike zone. Unfamiliar with Cecil is Adams, but it's sharp tonight. That looked like his curveball, which a little bit sharper. And out of the strike zone, Adams swings right through it. If you throw a lot of first pitch strikes and you get ahead early, you can throw pitches like that and hitters will go after it.
You get him in that swing mindset because you're throwing strike after strike, and they say, okay, well, if he's going to throw it over, I've got to be ready to swing. Two and 0. Andino struck out on a changeup his first time up. Cecil's got to fight all the way back now. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike.
Orioles have been missing Brian Roberts, I think, all season long. He's been out. They have tried 7 different players in the leadoff spot this year. That is where Buck Showalter's second baseman usually hits, but he has been hurt for most of the season. Andino is now the guy, and he's on first base.
Fans, a reminder, you can stay connected with the Blue Jays through social media. 3 great ways to ensure you're always connected with the Blue Jays. One is BlueJays.com. Number 2, Facebook.com/Blue Jays. You can also log on to Twitter.com/Blue Jays. Stay connected. Keep up to date on everything about the Blue Jays. J.J. Hardy. You mentioned Hardy is a dangerous hitter. 26 home runs. Cecil gets ahead of him with the first pitch strike. Ground ball. Escobar goes to the bag. 1. First base double play. So just like that, Brett Cecil erases that 1-out walk. Easy double play turned by Escobar. Hockey season just around the corner, and if you want to get a look at some young stars, it's the 2011 Young Stars Tournament. Sunday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time on Sportsnet West at Canucks and Oilers. The 2011 Young Stars Tournament. A gorgeous night here in Toronto. Temperature is perfect, barely a hint of a breeze. And summer is winding down. Mike McCoy, the center fielder. So the first pitch strike from Jeremy Guthrie. Boy, Guthrie pitched around the leadoff double and stranded Adam Lynn at third base in second. Guthrie's thrown a few more two-seam fastballs tonight than I've seen from him in the past.
Sinking the ball on the inside part of the plate to the right-handers. I think that is to keep his pitch count down. Again, he likes to pitch to contact, put the ball in play. Doesn't have a ton of strikeouts. He has 110 strikeouts coming into this game, and I wouldn't classify him really as a strikeout pitcher. He's more of a, here it is, let's see what you could do with it.
Had a season high 9 strikeouts out in Seattle against the Mariners back on the 31st of May. There's a 4-seam fastball that McCoy got a piece of.
He was originally a first-round draft pick by the Cleveland Indians back in 2002, and you know who his boss was when he was in the minor leagues with Cleveland? John Farrell. Farrell was the farm director, and he really likes Jeremy Guthrie. He says he's got 4 quality pitches.
McCoy, tough hop at third base for Andino, but he makes an easy play of it. 1 down. Guthrie throws a lot of strikes, and he is a fly ball pitcher, and with that, you get a bad combination. The home runs allowed since 2007. Guthrie is second only to James Shields.
His ballpark doesn't do him any favors. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, that's a homer haven. But you're right, he pitches to contact. He's a fly ball pitcher, and he uses his fastball a lot. And at times, he'll get the ball up in the air, and it'll hurt him.
The guy that surprised me on that list was Irvin Santana of the Angels. Pitches in a big ballpark. Oftentimes it's cool there at night. The ball doesn't carry. A.J. Burnett pitches in a small yard in New York.
Yeah, he gives up a lot of home runs.
John Danks pitches in a small yard in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yunel Escobar. Ball and a strike.
Guthrie's like Shields in the fact that he'll use his fastball. He just doesn't have the changeup that Shields has to get hitters off of his fastball. But his stuff is very similar. Works quickly, throws a lot of strikes.
Pulled that ball off the plate outside. Right at the bottom of the zone. Guthrie was a 2-sport high school star in Oregon and went to Brigham Young University. And then after 1 year there, went on a Mormon mission for 2 years in Spain. And when he came back, decided to go to the University of Stanford. Went to Stanford University, pitched there for Mark Marquez, great college coach there for a long time, and then he became a first-round pick.
So you wonder how a guy who is a first-round draft pick by the Indians, who need pitching, in 2002, and 5 short years later, he ends up on the Baltimore Orioles. They claimed him off waivers from Cleveland.
And that is not unusual because Guthrie got a major league contract when he signed. That ball jammed Escobar, and he'll be thrown out. 2 down.
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Two outs. Eric Thames steps in. 2 ground ball outs here in the third. They give you the rest of the information about Guthrie. He signed a major league contract and was put on the major league roster. Then the clock starts to tick. And Cleveland just ran out of time before they found out what they had in Jeremy Guthrie. They had to make a decision. He didn't have the kind of development in the early part of his career as they expected, and they just made a choice and said, you know what, we have to expose him to waivers, and didn't carry him.
And they had an idea that that was going to work.
Another ground ball to second. 3 ground ball outs for Guthrie. He has a quick 1-2-3 third inning. Stunning photography and in-depth analysis from Canada's top sports journalists, including Shai Davidi, Michael Grange, and Mark Spector. Be the first to get it. Subscribe today at sportsnet.ca/magazine. Beautiful moon, and it's great to see the sun and the moon the last couple of days. It's been cloudy and kind of dreary around Toronto, but now the sun was out. A beautiful day this afternoon and a gorgeous evening tonight.
Not the kind of weather that the Baltimore Orioles have been having to play through the last few days.
How about that 3-day schedule? They start a night game at 11:08 in New York, come back and play a day game in the rain in New York, and then take the train back to Baltimore yesterday and play another day game.
And then hop on the plane and come on up here to Toronto. Yes, Mother Nature has not been very kind to the Orioles the last few days.
Now they can't even really unpack their suitcase. Look, Showalter Mark Reynolds talking about Brett Cecil. See if they can't pick something up in his delivery. Buck was a pretty good hitter when he played with the Yankees in the minor leagues.
The slasher. That's what we used to call him. He used to slash balls all over the ballpark.
There's a ball slashed to left. Thames gets over quickly, cuts it off. Markakis with a big turn, and he'll be stopped. Thames did a good job of keeping Markakis to a long single.
After his first hit in the first inning by Nick Markakis, the outfield really shifted over and played him the other way, and that really helped Thames. You can see him in your picture from that angle right there. Shifted over to take away extra bases from Markakis. If he hits this ball in the first inning, it's a double.
Torey Lovullo always with his head up looking at his outfielders and made a very prudent adjustment. Vladdy Guerrero, big swing and a miss. Guerrero had a ground ball single to right his first time up. Top of the 4th inning of a scoreless game. High fly ball into center. Markakis is tagging at first base. McCoy catches it. Markakis breaks, but then the throw is right on line. 1 down. Now the Orioles Finished up last season with so much optimism under Buck's shoulder. Got off to a decent start, but boy, at the end of June, things kind of came down on their shoulders.
Pitching kind of went south a little bit for the Orioles. They've been outscored by over 100 runs in those 67 games. That was since June the 28th. They've started hitting the ball. They have hit a lot of home runs in the second half of the season. Pitching has been a little bit south for them.
First pitch strike to Adam Jones. A lot of their young starters just didn't develop the way they anticipated. Brian Mattis, a left-hander, former #1 pick, they thought he was going to develop. He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. He's back now, trying to finish up on a positive note. That bat just barely missed Cecil. Oh, man. We always worry about that pointy end of the bat coming and hitting a player on the field, and this one was down around Cecil's legs, and he had to do a quick step to get out of the way.
Right where he stepped, right over the mound. Watch it. It takes a little bit of a turn and goes right over the rubber after it hit the turf, but he got inside on Adam Jones and sawed him off.
It's so dangerous because pitchers have a tendency to follow the ball. And you don't notice that bat, especially when it's a black bat. You can't really pick up on it, but Cecil was aware and jumped out of the way. That looked like a good curveball there, and that strikes out Jones. Cecil with 6 strikeouts.
Curveball's a little bit sharper tonight. He's got a little bit better break, and it looks like Brett Cecil is using the formula that Ricky Romero used last night. Get ahead early, use your fastball, jump ahead, and then use your good changeup and your good curveball to get the strikeouts. Romero did it last night against the Red Sox, threw a gem. Cecil doing the same thing here tonight.
6 strikeouts has pushed his pitch count to 50. Matt Wieters, ball in the dirt. You know, it's really interesting, too. The Blue Jays pitchers, especially Romero and Cecil, have developed a reputation of having a very good changeup. And they're both very good. But when you throw it all the time, hitters are going to pick up on it. And I think the curveball for Romero last night and the curveball for Cecil tonight have really been important pitches for them.
It just gives him that third pitch. Another option that the batter has to think about. Doesn't matter if you have a good curveball or changeup if you don't throw strikes early in the count.
Popped up. Eric Thames has a beat on it. Jogs in a couple of steps. Wieters is retired. The inning is over. But Cecil, another strikeout. He's got 6 so far tonight. Someone will win a 40-inch Aquos Quattron TV and Blu-ray player. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp Aquas makes bigger, better. Blue Jays hit 3 home runs in last night's game, and they certainly have home run hitters up and down the order, and none better than Jose Bautista. Leads the majors with 40 home runs. A lot of people love Jose, and he has certainly put up big numbers the last 2 years.
He wore out the Baltimore Orioles last year, as did a lot of the other Blue Jay hitters. Not so much this year for Jose.
Everybody makes adjustments, and Bautista, like you said last year, I mean, Baltimore couldn't do anything to get him out. Been a different story this year. Ball and a strike.
Last year, everything he got up in the air went over the fence. 9 home runs and 67 at-bats in 2010 for Jose Bautista. Now, this year, 55 at-bats versus Baltimore. Just the 1 home run.
It's all about adjustments. Blue Jays still have had a good season against the Orioles. They are 10 up, 5 down against Baltimore. Fastball just off the outside edge.
That happens too. You know, some years you're just in that groove, and everything they throw up there you hit, and you hit hard.
That was hit hard, and that crosses up the shift. They had Bautista played to pull with the second baseman Adams on the third base side of the bag, and Bautista gets a leadoff single.
We saw him do that earlier this year when teams would put 3 fielders on the left side of the infield with 2 strikes, stays back just a little bit longer. The hands go first, the barrel just lags a little bit. Jose has his first hit of the night.
Blue Jays had a leadoff double in the second. This is trouble. Hardy, Adams, Reynolds at first. A 6-4-3 double play on 1 pitch. That leadoff single is erased.
Pitcher's best friend. Again, he will. Guthrie will challenge you, give you something to hit. The middle of the defense a lot better for the Orioles. Hardy has been great this year. He's 5 errors all season long at shortstop, the fewest errors by shortstop in the American League, and Adams has taken over as the everyday second baseman.
So Lynn had a good at bat his last time up, hit a 3-2 fastball into left field for a double. So Guthrie starts him off with a hook. Got underneath that cutter and sailed it up out of the zone. Ball on the strike. That time he got the cutter down where he wanted it and got Lynn to hit a foul ball. That cutter's an interesting pitch, and it has really become a very popular pitch among major league pitchers, and it just takes the ball off the barrel of the bat. And oftentimes when left-handed hitters hit it, all they can do is pull it foul.
It looks like a fastball coming in, and you start your swing.
That ball is hit into the air in left. Reimel just on the warning track makes the catch. Another quick inning for Jeremy Guthrie. They're scoreless after 4 here at Rogers Center. Time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio here at Rogers Center. night for a ball game. Perfect vantage point, front and center in a scoreless game as we are set to start the top of the fifth.
Perfect vantage point if you have a glove or a net.
Yeah. Not so good when you're just sitting there trying to broadcast a game. You and I were there last year, and Bautista just about drilled us with a liner. We'd have been okay if Scott Carson would have been there, our stats man. He could have protected us, but he didn't want any part of it. Mark Reynolds takes the first pitch strike. Boy, that's been a good theme for Brett Cecil, getting ahead.
Sink that fastball away for strike one. Use that pitch to get a big double play in the third inning against J.J. Hardy after a walk.
It's all about making adjustments and changing patterns, and that time Cecil went upstairs. Oh, 1-2. I like it. Back-to-back fastballs. Yep.
Yeah, push him off the plate also. 9 hits you mentioned last time when Reynolds was at the plate. 4 of them have left the yard against the Blue Jays this year, and 22 times they've struck him out.
That curveball's been a good pitch for Cecil. That time Reynolds was able to lay off.
Like you said, it's all about making adjustments. Blue Jays have basically 3 pitching coaches.
That's a good changeup right there, down and away in a tough spot. Reynolds shakes his head as he goes back to the dugout. That's 7 strikeouts now for Brett Cecil. That ties his season high.
Pizza for everybody on this pitch here. Changeup down. And Reynolds is out in front. They really slowed the ball on him. That at bat after those 2 fastballs inside.
Nolan Rimo was a strikeout victim his first time up. Two and 0. Brett Cecil's career high is 10 strikeouts. That came last year in a great game against Cleveland. Had 10 strikeouts May 3rd. Actually 2009 in Cleveland. That's hit right to Kelly Johnson. 2 down.
That game in Cleveland that you were talking about is a lot like this game here. He had 3 pitches that he was throwing over for strikes, and he could throw it anytime he wanted. Good changeup that night to get a lot of those strikeouts. He had a good curveball, if I remember.
Got a good curveball tonight, and I think pitching ahead has been the big key for Cecil. And it had to help him sitting on the bench watching Ricky Romero do the same thing last night against the Red Sox. Another first pitch strike. And now he's got the Orioles swinging at borderline pitches early in the count.
Well, they know that he's going to be around the plate early in the count. They're not sitting back there waiting. You get him in the swing mode like that, and then all that extra off-speed stuff becomes that much more dangerous.
Easy ground ball to third. Another quick inning. Cecil took care of the bottom third. 1, 2, 3 on just 10 pitches for Brett Cecil. And take a look at the fans here, and that fan got a foul ball baseball, little souvenir for himself. Nope. How about this? He makes a young fan a very happy fan by turning over the baseball. How cool is that? Look at Moms. He can't believe it. And the young boy, he is just speechless. He got himself a baseball.
You know what? And baseball has a fan for life.
You bet. And he also got a big hamburger, too. Perfect setup for Friday night. Scoreless ball game. Pretty good pitching duel. Brett Lowry got in with a sacrifice bunt back in the second. I believe he was bunting for a base hit, just didn't get past the pitcher. He was trying to push it toward the second baseman. But he got the runner from second to third.
His in-game awareness is top drawer. And I think that's why you were right. He was bunting for a base hit that he felt like, you know, at the very least, I'll get the guy over there. But it could be first and third and nobody out. Just didn't come through.
Bouncing ball, Andino in front of the shortstop. Lowry's retired.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jeremy Guthrie's been a little different pitcher tonight. He's got 9 ground ball outs already in this ball game, and that hasn't been his pattern in the past, but the two-seam fastball has been very effective for him.
Seeing it a lot more tonight than we can remember watching Guthrie.
Kelly Johnson struck out with a runner at third base and just 1 out. Guthrie's thrown a lot of two-seamers down at the bottom of the strike zone, and that has been a very effective approach for him. Changeup missed away. 2-1. Into center field, but not deep. Adam Jones makes the catch. 2 outs. So let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Wow. The Marlins certainly haven't had the kind of year they had hoped, but they lost one of their big-time pitchers middle of the season in Josh Johnson and never really could recover. Breaking ball inside. It's 2-0. JP Arencibia batting with 2 outs.
JP has homered the last 2 nights here in this ballpark. Now would be a good time to make it 3.
Got underneath it. Foul ground. Andino, the third baseman's got plenty of room, and he makes the catch. Another quick inning for Jeremy Guthrie. A 1-2-3 fifth. We played 5 complete here at Rogers Center. It's a scoreless game. Rogers Center, both starters have really been on top of their game.
They certainly have. They have pitched 5 innings. They've been all over the strike zone. Brett Cecil, 7 strikeouts, which ties his season high. He's only given up the 3 hits, and Jeremy Guthrie has given up just the 2 hits in his 5 innings, just 1 walk. Brett Cecil also has just 1 walk, so they've made him put the ball in play. Blue Jays have 1 opportunity so far tonight against Guthrie to score a run and haven't been able to cash him in.
It was a good one. It was a leadoff double off the bat of Adam Lynn back in the 2nd inning. He got to 3rd base with 1 out, but then Kelly Johnson struck out and Aaron Sevilla grounded out. Cecil's thrown 63 pitches through 5 innings, and Jeremy Guthrie's thrown 65. Both pitchers dealing tonight. So back to the top of the order for the Orioles. Robert Andino, 1 for 1. He struck out and walked. So 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Ball on the strike. He's had the good changeup all night long.
Anytime he has had to go to it, he has used it, and he's got it close enough to the plate where the Orioles have offered at it. They can go anywhere here with Andino.
Curveball looks good. Andino liked it too. Stayed on it and singles into left. That starts the top of the 6th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Tampa Bay in this series going to send Wade Davis, Jeremy Hellickson, and James Shields to the mound. Boston will send John Lackey, Kevin Whelan, and John Lester. So this is going to be a challenge for the Red Sox to turn things around. Lackey's had a terrible season. A rookie Whelan starting, and then John Lester, of course. But you see how the wild card has changed dramatically.
6.5 games out now, the Rays, from the Red Sox. Start of play tonight. They get the Red Sox 3 times in Tampa. They also get a big 4-game series against Boston at Fenway Park in another week or so.
Hardy fouls it down the left field side. Yeah, it's not over yet by any means, and we saw the Red Sox, and their starting pitching is in shambles outside of John Lester.
Yep.
And you match up James Shields against John Lester, it's a 50-50 proposition.
Yep. You know, with the problems that they're having right now in their starting rotation, it looks like the Red Sox, to hold on, they might have to slug their way into the playoffs.
Off-speed pitch. Escobar quickly to Johnson, quickly to first, but it's a high throw. Well, Kelly Johnson rushed his pivot at second and airmailed Adam Lind over at first, threw it into the seats. Looked like they had plenty of time to turn to.
Taylor-made double play. They got one last time off the bat of Hardy. Looks like they had another chance here. Andino, let's give him some credit, busting it down to second base and making life a little bit unbearable around the bag. You can see right there from Johnson. But you're right, that's an opportunity there for the second baseman to take a step back towards left field and use the bag as an extra defender, because you've got plenty of time to get the double play.
Hardy does not run that well, and they had plenty of time. Nick Markakis steps in. He's 2 for 2 so far tonight. First pitch strike. Last time the Blue Jays faced Markakis, they shut him out for the series. And that was quite a challenge, because Markakis had hit in 182 consecutive series, going back to early in his career, 2008. So he had hit in 182 straight series. He went 0 for the series last time the Blue Jays were in Baltimore. So he has made up for it already with a pair of hits in his first 2 at-bats.
He's just a good hitter. They really pitched him tough down in Baltimore.
Pops this one up. Bautista gives to McCoy. McCoy calling him off, makes the catch. 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Two down for the DH, Vladimir Guerrero. J.J. Hardy at second. First pitch changeup, and Guerrero was way out in front.
Anything close, he is going to be swinging the bat. 12 home runs, 51 driven in for Guerrero. He's always been a very good RBI man.
Mound stand smothered by Aaron Sebium. Outfielders in this situation with 2 outs have to remind themselves who is running at second. J.J. Hardy is just an average at best runner, not real fast. So if the ball's hit directly at you and you can break and charge right toward home, you got a shot at throwing them out.
And Willie Randolph, third base coach, it's a tight ball game. He might take a chance and try and score that runner.
Pretty good pitch. Aaron Sebia is going to go out and talk things over. He might have been crossed up on it. Looked like Aaron Sebia jumped up a little bit, anticipating it might be a fastball, and that could have blocked out the umpire's view of home plate.
I think you're right. Just watching him, how he received the ball. Watch him go up just a little bit, thinking this ball's going to be up, and then looks it right into his glove. And right away, he went to the mound and talked to Brett Cecil. You see him nod down the first base saying, hey, we got first base open now.
There's that breaking ball down and away this time.
10 seasons Vladimir Guerrero has had 100 RBIs. So he's been in this situation plenty of times in his career.
So Adam Jones on deck. No reason to give in to Guerrero in this situation. He fights it off. Vladimir Guerrero, one of the premier offensive players during his career. You see the active home run leaders. Alex Rodriguez, Jim Thome just passed the 600 mark. Chipper Jones closing in on 500. It doesn't look like Guerrero's going to get to that 500 home run plateau.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to play 3 or 4 more years to get up there and be a DH. Hit 29 home runs last year for Texas, 115 RBIs. The most he's hit in a season, 44, when he was with Montreal.
Full count, 2 outs. He goes after it, and he will chase.
I have seen him hit balls that bounce in front of home plate. His strike zone is from his shoe tops to his bill of his helmet.
Another full count pitch. J.J. Hardy at second. A scoreless ball game. Top of the 6th. Just got a piece of it. They had the right idea. After seeing Guerrero cover that changeup down in the dirt practically, they busted him inside.
Cut a ball in on his hands, or throw that fastball in on his hands where he can't extend. He reaches the ball away from him extremely well.
So we'll do it again. Another 3-2 pitch. Lined into left field. Thames comes up throwing. Hardy got a good break. The throw is on line, but late. Guerrero delivers. Thames didn't get a good break on that ball when it bounced in front of him, kind of laid back before he moved into it. I don't know if he didn't pick it up off the bat, but Guerrero picks up the RBI.
Playing a little bit deeper. It's a curveball. He's got a good curveball tonight, and Thames playing deep. Here he comes, getting his feet set. And then the throw just a little bit late, just out of the reach of Escobar. You can see he was trying to set his feet and come into the baseball. So his momentum is going towards home plate. Hardy just with 2 outs. He's breaking on the crack of the bat.
Guerrero now 6 for 8 against Brett Cecil. Jones fouls off the first pitch right on the top of his foot. Right on the ankle, that ankle bone inside.
And if you've never done that, you have no idea how much that hurts right there.
Richie Mansell's the trainer, manager Buck Showalter out to make sure Jones is okay.
Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jones appears to be okay. He will step back in the batter's box. Buck Showalter's a big fan of Adam Jones's.
Anytime Bucky has a chance to talk about his young center fielder, he tells you how hard he works. Every inning, he busts it down the line. He's never taken an inning off all season long, and he's never asked to be out of the lineup either.
Hits this ball into the air. Eric Thames has a beat on it. Jones is retired, but the Orioles get on the board first. Vladdy Guerrero with a 2-out base hit to left. The Orioles lead it 1-0. Baseball Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is asking you, the fans, to pick the top 10 finalists for the Ford C. Frick Award for Broadcasting Excellence. Go to facebook.com/baseballhall. Click on Wall and vote for Tom Cheek. Fans can vote once a day throughout the month of September. Let's get Tom into the Hall of Fame where he belongs. Grounds crew has been called out to the mound. Jeremy Guthrie has asked them to put some clay back into the mound. You see right there where the pitchers dig out in front of the rubber and then in the landing spot.
At the end of the 5th inning, he went right to the home plate umpire, Ron Kolpa, when he was finished, and he was telling him he wasn't real happy with the footing around the mound. I think it has to do something with his landing foot, and I think it also has to do with that push-off part right in front of the rubber. So they've come out here, they've dug a little bit of a hole, they put a little bit more clay out there just so he can have a little bit better footing on the mound.
Tell you what, these mounds are phenomenal nowadays all over baseball, and they do such a great job of preparing them. Each night after the game, the grounds crews will come out and repack that area where the dirt is kicked out in front of that pitching rubber, and then during the same areas where they land out there in front of home plate.
That's the important one, where they land. You want to have a nice footing where that front foot hits. And it looked like he had dug out a nice little hole as the game went along through the first 5 innings, and he asked them to replenish it, fill it back in, give him a little bit more solid footing when he plants that front foot.
Guthrie off to a great start here tonight. He's held the Blue Jays just 2 hits, and both leadoff hits. A leadoff double by Adam Lind in the second, a leadoff single by Jose Bautista in the fourth. So it'll be 9-1-2 for the Blue Jays as they trail Baltimore and Jeremy Guthrie 1-0.
By finishing that 5th inning, it also keeps a streak alive for Jeremy Guthrie of throwing at least 5 innings in a game. He has done it now 43 straight starts.
And we mentioned the last time he started here, he pitched 5 innings, allowed just 1 hit, and then had to leave that game with a back problem. See that patch on his right shoulder? It says Flanny, in honor of Mike Flanagan, who passed away. And Guthrie wears number 46. That was Flanagan's number while he pitched for the Orioles. And Jeremy Guthrie spoke to Flanagan's family and asked him if they preferred that he did not continue to wear the uniform. And it was very thoughtful of him to consider the family's feelings, and they insisted that he continue to wear it. Flanagan, most recently a broadcaster for the Orioles on television. Full count. McCoy's job is to get on base, obviously. Blue Jays trail by a run. And he does. He takes the leadoff walk. Man on, nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Pretty good pitching matchup. Halladay and Sean Markham, and Markham has been touched up for 5 hits in the first inning, including that 3-run home run for Howard, number 32 for the Phillies' first baseman.
Might be a little bit of a preview of a playoff matchup between those two teams.
Top of the order, Yunel Escobar with McCoy at first. He goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Jeremy Guthrie has been a different pitcher tonight, but 3rd time through the order for the season has been a real challenge for him. I think we've seen a little different wrinkle from Guthrie with that 2-seam fastball tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That something that we haven't seen from him before. He's basically a bit of fastball, and it's been straight, and a curveball. Tonight he's been sinking it. Picked up a big double play in the 4th inning off the bat of Encarnacion after the leadoff single by Bautista.
There goes McCoy. Escobar fouls it off at the plate. Mike McCoy got a pretty good jump at first base, but Escobar fouled it off.
John Farrell trying to do something to get the running game going. They certainly did that against the Red Sox in the last series. Aggressively ran the bases. They had 5 stolen bases in 1 game against Boston. It'll be tough to run on Guthrie and Wieters. Guthrie's only given up 3 stolen bases all season long.
Guthrie throw to second to Hardy for 1. Back to first, double play. What a good play by Jeremy Guthrie. Once he gloved it, he turned and picked up his shortstop and made a good throw to J.J. Hardy.
You mentioned it. He's a good athlete. He was the MVP of all the sports he played when he was in high school. Football, baseball, basketball for his team, so he's a good athlete. He gives a good throw to Hardy. Gets it to him before he gets to the bag at second base. So Hardy can do the rest. He can find the bag and then get out of the way of a sliding Mike McCoy to finish off that double play.
Second double play turned by the Orioles tonight. Eric Thames goes after that changeup. Jeremy Guthrie now has pitched 5 2/3 here tonight. That gives him 1,000 innings for his career. Very impressive milestone for Guthrie. Certainly reflects his stamina, durability, and the fact that he gets the ball and answers the bell.
You know, and he doesn't worry about his one-loss record. He was talking about that the other day when he lost his 17th game, and someone asked him, hey, you know, you have a chance to lose 20. He says, I don't care. I also have a chance to win 3 or 4 more games this season. He's always looking at the positive side of things, not worrying about the one-loss record.
Tim Lincecum passed the 1,000 innings mark in his last start on September 3rd. So you can say that, you know what, he's a regular starter, makes his start every time. Only 71 active pitchers have recorded 1,000 innings pitched in their careers. Eric Thames, staying alive, fouls off that high fastball.
He'll give you innings. 43 consecutive starts now. Only Jim Palmer has had a longer consecutive streak than Guthrie of throwing at least 5 innings in a start.
Thames is hanging in there. Jose Bautista on deck. Jose has one of the 2 Blue Jay hits against Guthrie tonight. Inside, Ron Culp has been very consistent with that call. That fastball on the inner part of the plate, just off the inside edge. Fly ball to center field. Jones looking up on the warning track, turns around and makes the catch. Adam Jones plays shallow in center field, but he had plenty of room, and Guthrie has another good inning in the 6th. Their options, and Edwin Encarnacion earlier today was out in left field. He's done this earlier this season. I think this is more of just a test to see what he can do out there, and gives them a little more information about the versatility of Encarnacion.
It's a month to evaluate some of your players, what they can do, where they can play, put some ideas in their mind. John Farrell was talking about that before the ball game today, and he was saying that he would like to get a start in left field by Edwin Encarnacion at some point this month, just to see what he can do out there.
Catcher Matt Wieters takes the first pitch upstairs. It's 1-0 Baltimore. Orioles scored an unearned run in the 6th. High fly ball to center. McCoy quickly over in right center, makes the catch. One down.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mark Reynolds has lined out and struck out. Cecil has 7 strikeouts tonight. That ties his season high. I've done a good job of mixing up the pitches on Mark Reynolds.
Last time up, he started off with an off-speed pitch. This time he goes right after him with a fastball.
Fights this one off and fouls it down the left side. 0-2.
When you have the players that the Blue Jays have brought up here in the month of September, do you get the feeling that some of these young players are auditioning for a job next year?
Well, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely, just to improve their position for spring training. Reynolds strikes out for a second time. That's a new season high in strikeouts for Brett Cecil. That's number 8.
He's a good high ball hitter, so you have to get it up there just a little bit higher than normal. That time he got it right over the letters to get Reynolds. 23rd time that Reynolds has struck out. Check that, 24th time that Reynolds has struck out against the Blue Jays this year.
A fielder. Nolan Reimold takes the first pitch strike.
You know, I think that's the only way, you know, that you should have when you take the mound. You know, you're pitching for your job. Now, I don't care what your record is. Baseball is a game of what have you done for me lately.
I think this is the first time in several years that the Blue Jays have made call-ups of players that are going to be legitimately considered for the team next year. I mean, there's a lot of guys knocking on the door. Adam Lowen, Cooper, Henderson Alvarez. A lot of guys knocking on the door.
And according to the Jays, they're going to play him. They're going to pitch him. They're going to play him this final month.
Kyle Drabek, Chad Beck. We haven't seen Beck pitch yet. He's not pitched in the big leagues. Sitting down there with the bullpen coach, Pat Henke. Change up. Reimold strikes out. 2 strikeouts here in the 7th inning. Brett Cecil's doing his part. Now the Blue Jay hitters have to figure out Jeremy Enjoy the rest of the 2011 season with that bat for your BlackBerry, iPad, or iPhone. Listen to live radio broadcasts and receive batter-by-batter information for every game. At Bat 2011 allows you to customize the app to receive Blue Jays specific news and alerts. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Jose Bautista ducks back from an inside pitch. It's a 1-0 ball game. Baltimore up on top.
Jose crossed him up last time with the single in the right field, and Baltimore now has shifted back over. Second baseman playing not straight away second base now, instead of shifting over on the left side of the diamond.
Out on the outside corner. Guthrie has given up 24 home runs this season. The Jays have been swinging the big bats lately. Since the 13th of August, only the Yankees have hit more home runs than the Blue Jays.
Red Sox, Rangers, those are some slugging teams right there. Overall, Blue Jays fourth in the major leagues this year with 171 home runs.
Bautista strikes out the high fastball. Gets him.
It's a good sequence right there by Guthrie, challenging him. After falling behind, he went fastball, changeup, and then upstairs to get Jose for the second time tonight. Just the third strikeout by Guthrie. Again, he's not a strikeout pitcher. Tonight, he's got very good command.
And what he's done tonight is he's kept the ball on the ground. Bautista got the fastball, but it was just a tad up, and he had to protect with 2 strikes. Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike from Guthrie. A good rip at that pitch and fouled it back into the screen.
It's a good pitch right there. I think Edwin knows he had a good one. Guthrie missed his spot and ended up going right down the middle of the plate, and he just fouled it back.
Obviously a tough part of the order for Jeremy Guthrie, and he's ahead of Encarnacion 0-2. Got him. Wicked breaking ball, and Encarnacion strikes out. It may have hurt his wrist.
Yeah, watching him after that swing, you see him grimace just a little bit and taking his time going back to the dugout. Watch him after the swing. Grimaces, and I think it's his left wrist, left hand.
He's had trouble with that in the past. What's the reaction? Takes the bat out of his hand, and have Hudson over to check on him. Hudson's the assistant trainer. Adam Lynn has a double in 2 trips tonight. I think it's more of his shoulder now. He's trying to loosen up that left shoulder. Hot shot into right field. Adam Lynn comes up with a 2-out base hit.
Get a pitch you can handle, and that's exactly what Lynn does. Guthrie challenges him with a fastball, and Lynn stays on top of it. Head doesn't move. He's got a multi-hit game tonight.
Brett Lawrie will step in with 2 outs. 328 average on the season. It's a first pitch strike. Lawrie played his first big league game against the Orioles in Baltimore. Coming into this game tonight, he had 10 hits in 24 at-bats against the Orioles. including 3 home runs. Lori's home run on Monday won the 1-0 game in extra innings.
He had a big home run against the Orioles at Camden Yards late in that game. 2-run home run that helped the Blue Jays win.
That came in the 8th inning off Willie Ayer. That broke a 6-6 tie.
Coming up with some big hits late against good pitching.
Hit a tying base hit against Jordan Walden against the Angels on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Tied it up. 3-1, 2 outs. Guthrie tied him up, got that ball inside.
That ball is running tonight from Guthrie. In the past, I remember his fastball being very straight, but tonight it is really running.
There goes Lynn. Lori takes the walk. Boy, for a guy that came to the big leagues with the reputation of not having very good plate discipline, we've seen nothing but plate discipline from Brett Lori.
Yeah, from the first day. And I think all you have to do is tell him one time. Say, hey, look, you know, don't swing at that pitch that's just off the plate. Okay, I won't. Done a good job.
Rick Adair, the pitching coach, out to give Guthrie a little bit of a breather here. He's thrown 97 pitches. He's still in good shape. He hasn't labored at all. Adair talking to Wieters and Guthrie about the next hitter, Kelly Johnson, and short and sweet. We'll be right back here at Rogers Center tomorrow afternoon. It'll all start at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong. That's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. The Jays on Sportsnet. Game 2 of a 3-game series. Rick Vandenhert will go to the mound for the Orioles. He'll be opposed by Henderson Alvarez. Kelly Johnson takes an inside pitch. Bottom of the 7th inning. Orioles lead it 1-0. Pedro Strop starting to loosen up for the Orioles. Orioles, like everybody else in baseball, with the expanded roster, and they've got a bunch of arms in their bullpen.
I'm watching Brett Lori on his secondary leads here. He is the go-ahead run at first base. Anything in the gaps by Johnson, he's got to get a big secondary lead and try and score that tie-breaking run from first.
Breaking ball down and in. It's 2-2. Guthrie struck out Johnson back in the 2nd inning on that same pitch. That breaking ball down and in toward his back foot. Lynn's at second. Lori's at first. 2 down. 2-2 count on Kelly Johnson. Came right back to that same spot. Johnson comes to the American League with a reputation of being a good fastball hitter.
Good fastball hitter. So do you think he'll do it 3 times in a row?
Throw him another breaking ball? He's flirting with danger down and in.
Yeah. He can turn on one and he'll hit one into that right field corner. So he goes away.
Full count, 2 outs. The runners will be off and running. Lynn with his second hit came with 2 outs. He's at second. Lori took the walk. He's at first. Kelly Johnson, 3-2. There go the runners. Cut on and missed. Guthrie strikes out Johnson. Guthrie strikes out the side in the 7th. The Blue Jays haven't been able to deliver with runners on. Guthrie comes up with a big strikeout. 9 strikeouts.
And started right away from the first 2 batters of the ball game. You got Andino and Hardy. Been getting ahead, and that's the important thing. Tonight he's been finishing them off with a good changeup. He's also had a little bit harder curveball than he's had his last few times out. His career high in strikeouts is 10. He's sitting at 9, and he's getting them all different ways. All parts of the strike zone, but mostly his change and curveball have been very good here tonight.
Good line for Cecil. 5 hits scattered over 7 innings. The run is unearned. He's walked just 1 and struck out 9. But the Orioles have a 1-0 lead. Ryan Adams, the second baseman, goes after the first pitch and rips it into center. Cecil working in the top of the 8th. Kyle Drabeck is loosening up in the pen. No way of telling if he is loosening up or just getting some throwing in, but the way he is throwing it looks like he's loosening up to get ready to come into the game.
As soon as the last out was made by the Blue Jays in the bottom of the inning, he got up and started getting loose. The phone rings down in the bullpen, and some more action.
Looks like Sean Camp has jumped up and joined Kyle Drabeck, so that suggests that Drabeck's probably just getting some throwing in, and that Camp is the hot pitcher. Andino bunts it right out in front of home. Aaron Sebia looked at second, but gets Andino. Andino with the sacrifice. Adams moves into scoring position. John Russell, bench coach with Buck Showalter in the Orioles dugout. Andino congratulated for a job well done.
He leads the team in sacrifice bunts now with 8. A 1-run lead. They're looking for that tack-on run. Set up nicely in the middle of the lineup for the Orioles. Big producers: Hardy, Markakis, Guerrero, Jones. After that leadoff single, you knew he was going to try and bunt him into scoring position.
Hardy goes after that outside pitch, and Cecil's ahead. Markakis is 2 for 3 tonight. He's on deck. Both of his hits have been singles to left. One nothing game. We are in the top of the 8th. Little looper into shallow right field. This is trouble, and bounces in front of Bautista. He gets it back to the infield. Adams moves over to third. Hardy with a little flare into right.
Bautista had to wait. He actually didn't get a great read on that ball in right field, because Hardy, you have to respect his power. 26 home runs, but it's off the end of the bat. He takes the full swing, and Bautista, you can see him just for a minute just to read it. By that time, it's too late. He's got to play it on a bounce.
Ball was just dumped into no man's land. Adams as well had to hold up to make sure it was safely on the ground. He can only move over to third. First in, third, 1 out. Markakis, as we mentioned, 2 singles already tonight. Pops the first pitch up.
Needs that ball on the ground right here. He has already gotten 1 double play tonight on the infield. Last year, Brett Cecil induced 24 ground ball double plays. The one we saw earlier tonight was just the 5th this season. He needs one here.
Markakis has grounded into 14 ground ball double plays. Hits the ball hard on the ground. He's not a power hitter by any means. A lot of his hard hit balls are sharply hit ground balls. He's in a hole 0-2. Ground ball. Kelly Johnson flips to Escobar, back to first. Not in time. Markakis beat the return throw to first. It was bang, bang. But the Orioles increase their lead. It's 2-0.
And Markakis will get an RBI on this. What helped him a lot is watch his swing as he was actually running towards first base when he swung the bat. And he is thinking about getting the RBI. The little extra stretch right at the end. Quickly gets to the bag, and he's called safe. He'll get the RBI. Escobar can't believe he thought he had him. Good pitch by Cecil. It looked like they had a shot at it.
Brett Cecil will hand the ball over to John Farrell, and he pitched a heck of a game tonight. But he leaves trailing 2-0. He'll turn things over to Sean Kemp. Seven hits, 2 runs charged to Cecil, and the runner at first is his responsibility.
Yeah, just one of those runs. If it so close at first base, it would have been just one. Sean Kemp into the ball game. He's been a little bit of a good luck charm for the Blue Jays. Over his last 3 starts, he's won all 3 of the appearances that he has come in to relief. Blue Jays have come back to win the ball game when he's been in there.
Vladimir Guerrero, 2 for 3 tonight. He drove in a run in the 6th. Markakis at first. There he goes. Arancibia from his knees. About in time. Looked like a pretty good tag by Kelly Johnson. Darrell Cousins, the second base umpire, calls Markakis safe.
Going on first movement. And Arancibia has been throwing the ball a lot better lately. It's a high tag. It looked like he got him on the hip, right around the hip area. By that time, he was able to get that left hand on the bag. Good call by the crew chief.
Big sweeping breaking ball, and Kemp's ahead of Guerrero 0-2.
Sean's been pitching a lot better lately over his last 13 innings. He's given up 3 earned runs, an ERA just over 2 over that time. Spacing out his appearances so his stuff is a little bit more crisp.
0-2, 2 outs. Wouldn't go after that breaking ball. Guerrero with 2 hits tonight against Brett Cecil. improved his numbers against Cecil, 6 for 8. Breaking ball lifted into center. McCoy got a late break, but he's got the speed, recovers, and makes the play. Guerrero's retired. The Orioles add to their lead. It's 2-0. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio right here at Rogers Center. Hits. He allowed 2 runs, just 1 earned run. He walked the batter and struck out 9. That's a season high in strikeouts.
Very sharp tonight. Good outing by Brett Cecil. On the other hand, Jeremy Guthrie was just a little bit better. 7 innings, 3 hits. He did walk 3 batters and have 5 strikeouts, but he didn't give up any runs among his 104 pitches. He was very sharp.
J.P. Arencibia lines to the third baseman. Pedro Strop, the new pitcher. New third baseman is Josh Bell.
Defensive moves by the Orioles pay off right away. Strop throws 1 pitch and he hits it right to the new third baseman. Pedro Strop was claimed off waivers from the Texas Rangers. He's always had a very big arm. There are his numbers with the Rangers and the Orioles. Spent most of the season in AAA with Texas. That was their Round Rock team where he got into 39 games, an ERA of about 3.5.
Mark Tien, the pinch hitter, batting for Mike McCoy. Combined numbers, 68 games with the White Sox and the Blue Jays. We mentioned Josh Bell has come in defensively at third, and Andino moves to second, taking over for Ryan Adams. Adams singled and scored in the 8th. Finished up the night 1 for 3. Backdoor breaking ball catches the outside corner. Bouncing ball. Reynolds, the first baseman, throws behind Strop. And Tien took a step toward second, so he hustles back.
I think one of the things that Mark Reynolds is going to find out when he plays more third base is when to let the second baseman have it. This ball is hit about 3 or 4 bounces. If he goes right over to the bag, there's plenty of time for Andino to make the play. You can see him standing right behind him. It's a tough play when the first baseman has to go like that and throw behind him to get that runner. So the Blue Jays get a base runner at first base after the error.
Dwayne Wise comes in as a pinch runner at first. And Escobar will step in. First pitch strike. Strope's got a good arm.
It certainly does. Again, he came over from Texas. His first 4 years in pro baseball, he was a shortstop. Couldn't hit. Put him on the mound. Originally signed by Colorado. He was in the Rockies organization. I remember seeing him with Texas a couple of years ago when he was in the big leagues, and it was an impressive arm. He's got good movement, good breaking ball. Just has to refine himself on the mound just a little bit.
Ball and a strike. 2-1. Business part of the Blue Jays batting order. Escobar, then Thames and Bautista, trying to erase a 2-run deficit here in the bottom of the 8th. There goes Wise. Cut on and missed. Weeder's throw is late. Wise picks up the stolen base. His second of the season.
Weeders is very good at catching and throwing. Straight steal for Dwayne Wise. He's got his head down. Slides in against that high tag. Watch how Escobar's swing distracts Weeders just a little bit. 38% base runners caught. Not that time as Wise gets his 6th on the season.
Two and two. Just inside. Wise, the pinch runner at second base. Takes a walk. No swing on the appeal, according to Jim Wolf. Fans, test your knowledge and win additional Sharp prizes by visiting the new Hit a Home Run with Sharp Facebook page. The last pitch to Escobar. They asked for the appeal to first, and he checked, and Weeders wanted the first base umpire to rule on it. And Jim Wolf said no swing. Eric Thames.
3-2 slider from Strope. Throwing him a breaking ball.
Bouncing ball. Andino quickly to Hardy. Back to first. Double play. Strope gets a ball on the ground. Blue Jays hit into their 3rd double play of the night. We have played 8. It's a 2-0 game. Now for a connected preview. Here's Ken Reed. The Blue Jays is Kyle Drabek, making his first relief appearance in the big leagues. Drabek started in the rotation, made 14 starts for the Blue Jays before he was sent back to AAA. In Las Vegas, he made 15 starts with the 51s.
Things were kind of coming unwound for Drabek when he was here. The longer he stayed here, he was getting frustrated when he was on the mound. He was taking the ball every fifth day, and one of the reasons they sent him down, they wanted to get him under control. And Alex Anthopoulos was talking about him the other day. They went out and watched his last start. It was an outstanding start, and he talked about it. He texted John Farrell about 6 or 7 times during the game saying, look, Kyle Drabek is a special type of pitcher.
First pitch, Jones hits it sharply. We're right to Kelly Johnson. 1 out, pretty good fastball from Drabek at 95.
And that's the thing that they love about him. His stuff is off the charts, where he can control it, throw it where he wants to. Forget about the numbers in the 15 starts. I think Kyle Drabek went down there and learned a little something about himself.
Matt Wieters will bat for the first time as a left-handed hitter tonight. Wieters has gone 0 for 3 tonight. Dwayne Wise came on as a pinch runner for Mark Teahan, the pinch hitter in the bottom of the 8th. He takes over defensively. In center field. Popped up. Aaron Seaby over near the Blue Jays dugout, and it's just out of play. We mentioned Chris Woodward and what an influential player he was for Brett Lowry while Woodward was in AAA. He was just the same thing for Kyle Drabek. A veteran presence, a guy that could talk to Drabek kind of like a big brother and say, listen, they know you've got the stuff to pitch in the big leagues. You have to show them that you can control yourself on the mound. Another ground ball. Lynn will go to the bat. 2 outs for Drabek here in the ninth.
And that's the thing that he is learning about himself. When you are as talented as Kyle Drabek and you mow down everybody your whole life, when you're a young kid and when you're in high school and you zoom through the minor leagues after you've been drafted, when you get to the big leagues, at times it's a tough, different story. And you have to learn how to handle failure. Because it's tough. It is really tough sometimes. And I think what Kyle went through is, or what he is going through is, you're not going to get everybody out. You're not going to throw that good pitch and get somebody out. They might hit it for a home run.
But in Alex Anthopoulos' evaluation of Kyle Drabek last Saturday, he said, boy, I saw the stuff that we traded for. And I recognized again that we have to keep this guy and give him a chance to develop. What a good inning for Kyle Drabek. Welcome back to the big leagues. Just 8 pitches. He gets 3 ground ball outs in a very easy 1-2-3 ninth inning. RogersOnDemand.com. Watch the Jays live from anywhere, online or on the go at RogersOnDemand.com.
After an error and a walk, Blue Jays have the tying runs on base, and Eric Thames hits one off the end of the bat. The Baltimore middle defense takes care of the rest. Andino, Hardy, and then Reynolds to finish it off. Pedro Strop walks off with a shutout inning. And we now head to the ninth inning, and that means closer time.
Jim Johnson will come on. Kevin Gregg pitched in yesterday's game in that extra inning win over the Yankees. So Johnson will get the call, making his 60th appearance of the season.
You see the 80 2/3 innings for Johnson. That leads AL relievers. He's also had 3 saves for Baltimore. Throws hard. And I don't think he can throw a pitch straight. Sinks his fastball. He's got a good curveball. He cuts his fastball at times.
And he throws hard. Ball and a strike to Jose Bautista. Meat of the order up for the Blue Jays. David Cooper has grabbed a bat. He's on deck. Remember, Encarnacion in his last at bat struck out and had a painful look about him as he returned to the dugout. He might have injured himself, and Cooper is loosening up on deck. Defensive replacement Matt Angle takes over in left for Nolan Reimold. 2-2. Full count. There's been discussion about the possibility of Johnson starting for the Orioles next year. Bautista with the leadoff walk. That's a start. So there'll be a pinch hitter for the DH. Edwin Encarnacion. It'll be David Cooper, and Cooper had a big game last night. 3 hits, including a pair of doubles. He scored a run and drove in 2.
Much better approach at the plate for David Cooper, using the whole field. Can pull the ball now this year.
Cooper is batting for Edwin Encarnacion. This is the last swing in his last at bat. You could see the grimace from Encarnacion, and initially we thought it was a wrist. Looked like it might have been a shoulder, but whatever it is, he's unable to continue here tonight. Cooper, a little tapper out in front of the mound. Johnson throws to first. Bautista goes to second. 1 out.
Very calmly making that play. He knows that run, who is on base, doesn't mean anything right now.
Adam Lynn will step in. Adam's had a good night, 2 for 3 night in his return to the lineup. He's had the last couple of days off. Lynn this season, 6 home runs against the Orioles. Bouncing ball. Reynolds will go to the bag. Lynn's retired on 1 pitch. Bautista moves to third, but the Orioles have the Blue Jays down to their final out.
Laurie.
So Brett Laurie trying to keep things alive here. Orioles lead it 2-0.
That's who the fans came to see right here. Bautista lead off the inning, and then Brett Laurie bat at some point representing the tying run.
Two-seamer came back on the outside corner.
He's going to stay away from him. He has already torched the Orioles for 3 home runs, Brett Laurie. Jim Johnson knows that.
Bouncing ball to third. Josh Bell has it across the diamond, and the Orioles win it. Jim Johnson comes out of the bullpen, gives up a leadoff walk, and then gets 3 ground ball outs to pick up the save, and he saves it for Jeremy Guthrie. The Blue Jays lose the opener, a very well-pitched game by both Cecil and Guthrie. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. Stay tuned now for Jays Connected. Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn standing by in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.